Yo, what's going on, everybody? Jimbo here, bringing you guys another video. This is going to be a very basic video. This is going to be all of my settings, everything from my controller settings to my graphics settings. Probably even just go over my league play classes as well, just to have everything in one video. Seems like just about every single stream I'm getting some sort of question about what sensitivity I use, or my graphics settings, or my colorblind mode, all kinds of different stuff. And so I thought I might as well have like one central video that covers all of that I can just point you guys to. So if you guys are interested into that kind of thing, if you guys are interested into my controller settings and my graphic settings, the place for you. So I guess just hopping right into it. If you are on keyboard and mouse, I've played keyboard and mouse just a little bit on this Call of Duty. I play on 3 cents, and then everything else is just 1-1. I don't play keyboard and mouse this Call of Duty. I did last Call of Duty quite a bit, but this Call of Duty I made the full switch back over to controller. But if you are in key and mouse, just know that I play on 3 sensitivity. We're not going to go over that too much. Now the graphics, I play on full screen. Your refresh rate, you just want to make sure it's as high as possible. If you have a 144 hertz monitor, you want it 144. If you have 240 hertz like me, you want to make sure it's on 240. You just want to make sure you just want to make your refresh rate as high as possible. Vsync, both of those disabled. NVIDIA reflex low latency, I've tried disabled, I've tried boosted. There's like no difference. I usually keep mine on disabled. It was on boosted because I was testing it out to see if there was anything different. Literally notice 0 changes. So just keep that wherever you'd like it. I just keep mine disabled. Decreases that GPU power draw a little bit. So render resolution, always want to keep this 100, whether you're on 1440p, whatever. If you have very bad frame rate, you can bump this down to like 90, 95. As you can see in the picture, it's going to make your game look kind of bad if you turn it down really low. You can get away with turning it down a tad bit though. So I get this question all the time on especially TikTok. I'll be uploading clips on TikTok, and everyone's wondering how I change like the name tags. All you got to do is come to the graphics tab and then the colorblind modes. Right now I changed this up quite a bit. Right now you can see my enemies are gold, my party and my allies. I usually keep this the same because I'm playing league play with a 4-stack, so there's really no difference between ally and parties. So I usually just keep these two the same. As you can tell right now, they're like a sky blue, and then I'm kind of like this teal. But yeah, you can go in here and you can really change it to whatever you want. If you want your teammates to be pink, you can change them to pink, just like that. If you want different shades, here's another tip. If you want like different shades of different colors, you can turn on the colorblind mode and they'll give you kind of the different shades to each color as well. Just if you want to switch it up. Tritanopia seems to be like kind of like the brightest one. But yeah, that's really how I changed my colorblind mode. Like I said, I get that all the time on TikTok. People always commenting, asking me how I do that. Moving on, we got field of view. I play on 100. I really wouldn't go past like 110. I know in Warzone there was an issue where if you played on the really high FOV like 120, your aim assist wouldn't be as strong. And so ever since then I've kind of backed it down. Honestly, 120 is just too fast for me. I don't need all that extra view. I can see pretty much everything 120 can see at 100, right? Like if you look at this picture, there's very rare times where I'm going to see somebody on this trash can that I won't be able to see because I'm on 100 FOV. You have really good positioning, especially as an AR player. Like I'm not swinging around corners and stuff like that as much as an SMG player is. So your models and everything are just going to be bigger on 100 FOV. It's standard FOV, right? The higher FOV, the more you can see, but the smaller everything is, right? So I'd rather just have bigger targets because I have great enough game awareness to where I don't need to see a full 180 degrees in front of me. So ADS field of view, I play on affected. You can change this to independent. I know a couple people do that, especially AR players. It kind of zooms in a little bit more whenever you ADS. If it's on affected, you'll just keep the FOV that you're playing on. So make sure mess around with that. Most people play on affected, don't really touch that. Frame rate limit, I'm on unlimited, trying to squeeze out as many frames as possible. Here we go with the bread and butter. This is my graphics setting. You will see, with the exception of a few things, I pretty much play everything on low or disabled. Texture quality, I used to play on high, but recently I've been getting a ton stuttering. So I turned it down to low. I would keep it at low, dude. I've noticed that if you go on lowest, your red dots are motherfluffing huge, and the game kind of just looks like booty. Like all of the skins on your guns look really ugly. They look really ugly on low, but your red dot is at least viewable. If you throw it on lowest, like your red dot is pretty much as big as like the sun, dude. It's kind of crazy. So I suggest play it on low. Auto quality, I'm on medium. HD game textures, you don't really have to worry about this unless you're playing on 4K, I believe. Special effects, I'm on medium. Screen space reflection disabled. Object view distance high. Water tessellation disabled. Now once we get to the shadow and lighting, you want everything lower disabled except for dynamic shadows. Dynamic shadows are the shadows that let you kind of see people going into a doorway before you actually see the person, right? If you have dynamic shadows off, you won't see people's shadows, right? But if someone's about to go into a doorway with dynamic shadows on, you can see their shadow in the doorway before you actually see them. So that's a neat little tip right there. Make sure you have dynamic shadows on all. It helps out quite a bit because you can see a lot of times you'll be able to see a shadow before you see the person, so you can kind of pre-fire them a little bit. Like I said with that though, shadow, lighting, everything else off or disabled or low other than dynamic shadows. Ray tracing, if you have an RTX card, please just turn all these off. It's not worth it in Call of Duty. You're losing out on a heck of a lot of frames just by having ray tracing on. So post processing effects, just everything disabled or low, pretty standard stuff. And then I just kept all the advanced stuff default pretty much. Displays in the VRAM and stuff like that. Now audio, we're kind of getting into all personal preference type of stuff. Audio, I just have mine, you know, you want to be able to hear the game, just put your master volume at whatever you want to put it. And then I just have music volume down. I had dialogue volume down to like 50 before. I might actually go back to it. Just know that sometimes, especially if you're used to hearing, you know, the announcer in the game call out like oh, enemy napalm inbound. If you turn dialogue volume down, that gets quieter, right? And so it's good in certain situations. I know there's a few times where like I'm in like a 1v2, 1v3 situation in search, and the announcer says something like, oh, there's 30 seconds left in the round, and I can't hear a goddamn thing. So play with this a little bit. Pretty much everything else is, you know, pretty standard stuff. Audio preset, I play on high boost. I've been kind of flipping and flopping. I was on Treyarch mix for a long time. I tried I think it was bass boost a little bit. I think high boost was the meta in MW, that's why I switched it to this. But try these out. There's quite a bit of a difference between all of them, but there's not one noticeable audio preset that like you have to be on. So just try those out. I'm on high boost. Rest is push to talk stuff, doesn't really matter. We'll go to controller interface. You guys can show like whatever you want. I have my FPS in the corner. To get that, all you got to do is go to the interface tab, FPS counter shown. That's all I got showing on mine. So now I guess the good stuff, right? Right now I'm on keyboard and mouse because I don't have my controller plugged in. But these are the settings. These are the controller settings that I use. Now, granted, I'm going to disclaimer this. Just know that sensitivity is the most personal preference thing when it comes to a video game, whether it's keyboard and mouse, whether it's controller, whatever it might be. You want your sensitivity to be as personal preference as possible. You want to find the most comfortable sensitivity for you. I can show you the most popular. I can show you mine, but just make sure that you play around with it and you actually take the time out of your day to kind of learn what the ADS low zoom and the ADS high zoom mean. Just get to know what sensitivity you want to play on. So in saying that, I play on 7 horizontal, 7 vertical, and then I play on 0.8 ADS sensitivity for both my low zoom and high zoom. I know some people boost up their high zoom a little bit. That way they can, you know, flick a little bit easier. But yeah, I'm on 7.8.8. If you guys don't really know where to start, 2 of the most popular sensitivities in Call of Duty are 5.5.1.1 and then 6.6.1.1 or 6.6.85.85. Those seem to be the 2 most, or I guess the 3 most popular sensitivity combinations among, you know, serious Call of Duty players. So I would start there, maybe bump it up to 7 like I did. I really wouldn't go below 5, and I really wouldn't go above like an 8. There's just really no point in being on like a 10 sensitivity. If it works for you, it works for you. But really everything that you can do on like a 14 sensitivity, you can already do on 7, and you're probably not going to be as jiggly long range as you are with 14 cents, right? So you want to be as slow as possible, but still be able to react whenever you need to, right? You want to be as slow as possible, but you want to still be able to turn on somebody, right? That's why you don't play on a 3 sensitivity. If you didn't have to worry about anybody shooting you in the back, you could play on a 1 sensitivity, right? That'd probably give you the best aim for long range, most controlled, right? But yeah, you just want to find a good good enough sense that you can control it from a long distance, but you can also flick if you need to. Button layout, I play on tactical. I have paddles on my controller, so I slide with my right stick, and then I melee with one of my back paddles. Pretty standard stuff there. Aim response, curve type. This is kind of crazy. We'll talk about the aim assist mode in a second. Aim response, curve type. Play around with standard and dynamic. There's actually quite a bit of difference. You'll notice it if you go into like a bot game and you play standard versus dynamic. I'm not going to tell you which one to play on. It's kind of, once again, all of the sensitivity stuff is just personal preference. I find dynamic really good. It's a little bit more snappy, a little bit more flicky. That's really the only way I can describe like the actual feel of what dynamic feels like. Make sure you go into bots and you play on standard and you play dynamic, and see which one you like more. A target aim assist mode, these a little bit less of a feeling than the response curve type. I play on legacy. I watched a video going through all 4 of these. As a competitive Call of Duty player, if I did nothing but sniped, I would probably choose between precision or focusing. When it comes to normal weapons, and like that competitive kind of feel of Call of Duty, definitely stick to standard or legacy. You can barely notice a difference on legacy. I changed it to legacy because it's pretty much standard, but it's what they use in Warzone. So if I ever went back to Warzone, like I'm still used to the aim assist on Warzone, if that makes sense. It's not as noticeable as, switching from standard to dynamic on curve type. So I'm really just on legacy because that's what Warzone is, and I'd rather just keep it as consistent between the 2 games as possible. But there's really not that much of a difference between standard and legacy, if any at all. So just play with that a little bit too. You always want to play with the aim assist mode and response curve type in bots, because especially, like I said, the curve type, there's quite a big of a difference between standard and dynamic. But yeah, definitely try those 2 out. Now we're getting down to the last couple settings here. Really, one of the biggest controller things that you can do is turn your dead zones down. I think by default, somebody said these are at like 20 or something like that. I'm on 4. I was on 5. Best way to test your dead zone and the best way to find out where to put these is for the min inputs on both of your sticks. You want to start it at 0. You're probably going to have some input delay, some stick drift, and you really just want to bump that up 1 notch at a time until you don't have stick drift anymore. That's pretty much the best way to do it. You just want to go 0. Okay, I have stick drift. 1. Okay, stick drift. 2. Stick drift, but it's not quite as strong. 3. Oh, it's barely there. 4. Okay, I don't have stick drift anymore. That's kind of how you figure that out. You just want this as low as possible. That way your stick is as sensitive as possible. If you put your main input up to 99, you would like move the stick around and like nothing would happen, so you want the best response and the most sensitive stick that you can have for the the optimal control of your sensitivity. So that's how you find that. Just go into a bot game or go into a custom lobby by yourself and just mess with this until you don't have stick drift anymore. And that's the end of our settings. Real quick, this video is dragging on big time. I'm sorry. They're showing me all of the season 2 stuff right now. I'm just gonna go through my class setups real quick. We'll go into league play just because they're the most updated. Here's the XM4. You're gonna want gunfighter. Here are my perks, my grenades and stuff. And then here are the attachments. I got Microflex, Infantry Compensator, 13.7 Ranger Barrel, Field Agent Grip, 40 round mag, Airborne Elastic Wrap, Raider Pad. You can always slow that down and pause if you need to. My Craig, also Gunfighter. I got the Microflex, Muzzle Brake, Takedown Barrel, Field Agent Grip, 40 round magazine, Airborne Elastic Wrap, Raider Stock. And then for my 74U, I use Lawbreaker with Flak Tack. And then for attachments, I got Spetsnaz Compensator, Extended Barrel, Speed Grip, Elastic Wrap, Skeletal Stock. And that'll do it, I guess, guys. I went through like pretty much every single setting that I've changed this Call of Duty, as well as hopefully gave you guys a good explanation on why I do what I do. And yeah, showed you my classes and everything. So I appreciate y'all. If you guys like this, make sure you leave a like on the video. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe. Really do appreciate you. We're on the road to 1K. We're gonna get there eventually. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. And I'm out. See you next time. And as always, God first, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, y'all.